and get it in the making, whereas before it comes before them for a vote, they already have an idea. And prayerfully, they will get a chance to see this show right here, this segment, where it's very important that they understand what's going on. Last but not least, I do want to thank Byron Marshall, the CAO, and Jeffrey Bourne, which is Deputy Chief of Staff for the Mayor. They have came to the table with the club owners and said, okay, what's your problem? And the club owners have shared it with them. Actually, they have went back and changed some of the ordinance.
Absolutely.
So now it's getting to a point where some of the club owners, or the majority of them, are saying, hey, we think we can live with this ordinance. There's a couple of more things that have to deal with ordinance, that have to deal with zoning that we want to look at, because unfortunately Monday, one of the council members introduced the ordinance, I would say behind the back, because none of the club owners knew about it. Some of the council members were surprised, and some of the city officials didn't even know about it.
Right.
But it was to regulate zoning.
Absolutely.
And when that happens, that means they want to maybe, say for example, come down here in the bottom and say, okay, no more nightclubs.
Well, we're not going to allow that to go on. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, we ain't even going to allow that to go on. It's not even an option for us to have nightlife entertainment. That's a requirement.
Right.
We have to have an outlet. So I appreciate you coming and re-clarifying for us and helping us understand a little bit more what this ordinance is about and what we can expect to come on the 28th. That's when the changes are going to place. But in the meantime, if you're involved and you're in partnership, or you have a relationship with, or you do promotion, you do events, and some of these club owners, and some of these club establishments that could be impacted by this ordinance, as well as if you're a promoter and you could be impacted by this ordinance, and that's a possibility, you need to do your research quickly.
Right.
So where do they need to go to get some information so they can know exactly where the ordinance is and what the ordinance is all about, and where can they get that information from?
You can get that information from any of the nightclub establishments, especially down in the bottom, that patronize over 90% of Afro-American patrons. Okay?
So go to your club
they would have
owners,
it.
go to the club owners, whether it's Posh, Visions, Have a Nice Day Cafe, 534, Escape, Satellite. Go to some of these establishments, talk to them so you know exactly what's going on, so that you can be involved and you can be a part of the change and make sure that things take place.
One last I want to say very briefly is to the promoters. Please understand this. There's a piece in there for the promoters also. And what it tells the establishment owners is you cannot allow a promoter to do anything in your establishment unless that promoter has had a criminal background check with the city chief of police. As well as if you have something scheduled, you have to submit that to the chief of police within 3 months prior to your event. Now, that memes that half of the time you don't even know. It may be...
Are you saying that promoters, if they have a criminal background, they can't make a living? Is that what you're saying? Is that what they're trying to do?
If certain crimes. Now they say if it's a felony, of course, if it's a felony, you can't.
But I mean, a lot of people do have felonies.
Well, not on felonies. They go further than that. It says
background check.
Yeah, background check.
That's
if an establishment
bad.
owner, say that you own a nice establishment and a fight break out, and the neighbors across the street decide that they want to report you for a public nuisance, then they can come and take your license.
So there's a lot of things we need to truly be aware of and to understand. And what I have a problem is, this is the thing I have a problem with. I have a problem when it starts to impact the way you take care of your families. And the thing that the public needs to understand, the thing that City Hall needs to understand, the thing that all of you guys that's here to join us today is need to understand is that this is some people's livelihood, and this is the only way and means that they have right now to take care of their families. Not to say that they shouldn't be challenged with other opportunities to do other things, but again, nobody should be able to make a choice in how they take care of their families, and I think that's important. So that's the thing that's most importantly for me, is it impacts that. It's not the fact that just that we don't have anywhere to go. You're starting to impact people's pockets and things that they've been doing for a long time to be able to do that. It's just like a doctor. You decide to take their license away and say you can't practice anymore. Right. 9 times out of 10, you went to school for 8, sometimes 12 years to get that doctrine and get those degrees, and now you can't use it. Where do you go? What are you going to do? Same thing in education, your teacher, your backgrounds. So I have a problem with all of that.
Just imagine if all the clubs for one weekend, just shut down.
If they shut down, the city probably will shut down because people are going to be in such a rage, they're not going to know what to do with themselves. There's too much pressure in society today in your jobs, having families, having them husbands, having them wives, having those kids at home. It's too much pressure. You need to have an outlet to be able to come out. It's not always about drinking. It's not always about that. It's just being out, to Roosevelt's point, being out with other people and other professionals and having an outlet and people to talk to and to be able to unite with. I mean, I just think it's bigger than all of this. So if you're not coming out and supporting nightlife entertainment, you may want to take a change and look at some things differently in your life. It's truly an outlet. It's not just about, you know, brushing up, you know, trying to meet up with Charles and meet up with Tony or meet up with Keitra. It's more to it than that. It's an outlet for you guys to have something else to do and to try something different in your life because sometimes you need it. So ladies, gents, before we go, we're at the end of our show. So I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys have any other final thoughts or any final points y'all want to put in. They didn't piss you off, BFF.
They didn't piss me off with that whole criminal background thing. I mean,
You're not a
that's
criminal.
the first. It's not that. I'm not a promoter either, but I know a lot of people that do promote, and that's their way of living. And I do know a lot of people who promote. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not putting people out there, but they do have criminal backgrounds, so my heart go out to them.
Yeah.
But the problem we have,
I hear you, best friend. What's y'all thoughts, y'all final thoughts?
that we have, our time to shine is, I was very passionate about it. It's something that really bothered me because, again, this funds our programs that we're trying to do. Our time to shine for seniors, our time to shine junior elite, whatever we may want to do. Next week we may change our mind.
Right.
If you take away the things, again, that helps us take care of our families, then what do we have? That's our major point.
If I could go against the grain a little bit, and I appreciate everyone's comment, but to Tanya's point, for event planners, event coordinators, promoters, and club owners, if this is your business, then take it serious enough to take your business as a business and not just putting out flyers to make a quick buck.
That's a
Then
good
get
point.
your business license, get your insurance,
I agree.
have your liability, make it
your
a
shit
business
right.
instead of a hustle. So many people.
To go look at the ordinance.
Right.
People are very ignorant about it.
So
Research the ordinance.
Right. Embrace it.
it's people. It's no way.
Comical part
It's
about it is they don't know that it's going to affect BW3. It's going to affect places.
It's going to
that-
affect other places.
That's what's hilarious.
it's no way that you can call yourself being in the game for 13, 20, 15 years and not have a business license. I'm calling you out. You're not a real business. You doing things as a hustle. You trying to get Jordan money for your kids. If it's a
Absolutely.
business, you got a business license hanging on your wall.
I agree. No, I agree, Mimi. Y'all got some good points there. And I got to wrap the show up. But at the end of the day, y'all are right. It's all about getting yourself in check. But you also got to be willing to embrace change and accept change, but also be willing to challenge change when it makes sense. You know, there are some positive things that City of Richmond is doing. And it's to protect not just us, as business owners, club owners, promoters, but it's to protect the public too. And at the end of the day, if there are no people to come out to these establishments and to support us, then none of us is going to be in business. So we got to look at all aspects of the ordinance. I'm a support of whatever is going to make a positive change for us and keep us safety for everybody else, but also keep us in check and make sure that we're legit. It's no reason to get in trouble with City Hall, taxes, IRS. It's no reason for none of that. So my challenge is to all of you guys out there, if you got a business and you're doing your thing, get your business in check, get your things in order. I want to thank all of my guests. You guys have been wonderful. I want to thank everybody in the audience today for being a part of the Stir It Up show. Good night.